guys, Evil YouTube here, back with another video. So we've got more TCG exclusives coming out now. Noble Night Go Mine was released 2 days ago or so, and yesterday it was the Ninja support cards, but I have to be honest, I'm quite disappointed. I don't think Konami have done a particularly good job. I'm just going to take a look at them here now. Basically, they have no love for ninjas. They never really have. Hanzo was the one card they brought out that was kind of like, yes, finally ninjas gets its support. But they didn't really build on that. Ninjitsu Art of Super Transformation, of course, is also really, really good. And that's why Hanzo was so splashable in so many different archetypes. Like you see him in Heretics and stuff like that. And he's coming out in a tin, which is fair enough. But a lot of the other ninja cards just aren't. It's just the way it is. And so, well, Konami thought they'd be smart. They thought, okay, well, there's no viable Sea Serpent targets, so let's release a Sea Serpent target. But we're just going to take a look at him now, and you'll quickly realize that he's, you know, just because he's Sea Serpent and just because he is a target doesn't mean that he's worth bringing out. I mean, you'd much rather run a full set of dragon monsters to use as targets rather than just have this lone Sea Serpent monster who isn't particularly good. Okay, so let's look at his effect. Well, he's level 5 water Sea Serpent effect, 2100 attack and 1200 defense. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can discard one ninja monster and one Ninjitsu art card to target one face-up monster your opponent controls. This turn, that monster's effects are negated and that monster cannot attack. Okay, well, it's a multi-trigger quick effect like the Nishi, which isn't too bad, but unfortunately you need to discard 2 of your cards to stop one of your opponent's cards from attacking or activating its effects, so you're not even getting rid of one of your opponent's cards. The targets for his costs are actually quite plentiful. There's plenty of ninja monsters and there's plenty of Ninjitsu art cards, but the question is, why would you want to discard 2 of them to simply stop one of your opponent's monsters from doing anything? This is also considering the fact that discarding these cards has no inherent benefits, except for perhaps Aqua Armor Ninja, who has an effect which activates in the graveyard, but other than that, discarding the Ninjitsu art cards has no inherent benefits, nor does discarding any of the other ninja monsters such as Hanzo, Upstart Golden Ninja, Go-Go Gal Ninja, Lady Ninja Yay, or whatever other ninjas you can think of. The only benefits of the card I can actually think of are the fact that he's a target for Ninjitsu Art of Super Transformation, and that he's 2100 Beatstick, which isn't that bad. So objectively speaking, it's not only the fact that the card is bad in and of itself, but it's also that there are so many better alternatives to this card. Fiendish Chain does the exact same thing as this card with no cost, and it remains face-up on the field and continuous. Whereas each time you want to activate this guy's effect, even though it can be done on either player's turn, but so can a continuous trap cards, you have to discard 2 cards. I mean, it's just silly to think that someone would choose this card just because it's an Ninjitsu art target over Fiendish Chain, which is just infinitely better and infinitely more consistent. My question is why Konami will be so inconsistent with their releases regarding the ninja archetype, because Hanzo and Ninjitsu Art of Super Transformation were great releases. You know, I mean, they're widely applicable, they're splashable as an engine, but why can't these cards be like that too? I just don't understand why the TCG exclusives are either really, really good, like Evolzar Dalka, for example, or just really, really bad, just to fill up space in that 10 card space that they have for exclusives. Okay, so next we have the trap card, Ninjitsu Art of Shadow Stealing. Tribute 1 ninja monster to target 1 monster your opponent controls, banish that target. Once the card is banished, its monster card zone cannot be used. It's a bit strange. When this face-up card leaves the field, return the card banished by this effect to the same monster card zone in the same battle position. Okay, well, a lot of people just flat out dislike this card from the beginning because it, just like the other card, it's just a card that stalls and doesn't actually do anything. It just clears the field for a while and then the monster eventually comes back. It's when the card leaves the field, not when it's destroyed, so there's basically no way you can get around it. As soon as it leaves the field, the monster comes back. However, unlike some YouTubers who will just flat out hate this card, there are actually some benefits to it. It'd be good in a build where you're trying to OTK with Blade Armor Ninja and you want to clear your opponent's field. It's good against XYZs because it removes their materials, and when they come back they have no materials, which is actually really, really good. There's not a lot of cards that actually do that effectively. Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon is an example. It also might work well in Mist Valley Ninjas because you can bounce the card when you can eventually destroy the monster that you banished. Then you can set the card again and banish another monster, and so on, just to get a bit of continuous control going. So unlike Blue Armor Ninja, who is just inherently bad, this card isn't inherently bad. However, it still is a bit inconsistent because you might have a ninja monster to tribute, one that you want to tribute. If you're in a bad situation, there are plenty of better cards to use, such as 1-for-1 spell cards, trap cards such as Bottomless Trapel, Torrential Tribute, and Solemn Warning, etc. Okay, well, that's widely accepted that ninjas have only ever been a support archetype anyway, in the likes of Mist Valley, Chaos, Dragon, Monarch decks, and other stuff like that. I mean, Hanzo is probably the most splashable ninja monster that they have, as I have said, and he is really, really good. Nobody has ever had a problem with Hanzo when he came out in Order of Chaos. However, given the trend that Konami is saying right now, when they release the TCG exclusives for at least 1 or 2 sets after the original support cards were released, I don't expect ninjas to get any more support, and for that reason, I believe that they will exist solely as a standalone archetype or as a support archetype for other decks, such as Heretic Dragons. But as a support archetype, they're actually one of the better ones. As an engine that you can tech in, for example, I mean, they have their Ninjitsu arts cards which can target 6 different types of monsters, which is actually quite a broad range, and so you could tech them in all sorts of types of decks. You most likely are to see them in Mist Valley decks and Dragon decks for their Wing Beast and their Dragon type monsters respectively. However, you don't necessarily have to do that. I mean, you can put them in insects. I've seen them teched in Zector decks before. I mean, they're pretty versatile. I definitely see them persisting in the game, but just not being standalone. But what do you guys think of these guys? Do you think the promo cards are good? Do you think Konami have made a good choice? Do you think they should release more ninja support in the future? And if you do, what kind of support do you think it should be? What do you think ninjas are lacking right now? Do you think there was any card they could release that can make them a full-blown archetype? As I've said, I believe that Hanzo was their chance. They released Ninjitsu Art of Super Transformation alongside him. However, the deck didn't become nearly as effective as they thought it would. It didn't become nearly as popular, and it just turned into a viable support archetype for other decks. Okay guys, that is it for the video today. Thank you so much for watching as always. Be sure to comment, rate and subscribe. And let me know what you think of these promos. I think we have 5 or 6 slots left on the list yet to come out, so we'll just have to see what happens with those. What other archetypes do you think need support? What could get possibly really overpowered TCG exclusives? Personally, I don't think any archetypes really deserve any right now. I think that we just have to wait and see what happens in the ban list. Konami are sort of waiting for that too. They know what's going to happen, of course. But they're just going to wait to see what the format's going to be like in the next few months and see if it slows down a bit. And so the exclusives they release, I don't feel are going to push that many decks forward, but we'll just have to see what happens. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Just one more thing, if you're going to leave a comment and it's going to be inherently negative, just try and make it as constructive as possible, because I generally don't like comments that are just flat out negative, that don't give any justification or reasons for why they make certain claims. I'm not naming any names, of course. I'm just saying lately there's been a lot of comments, particularly in my ban list videos, which have gotten a lot of support, and I appreciate that very much. But there have been a lot of comments that have just been like, I disagree with this. End of story. If you're going to disagree with something, please make it constructive. Try and get a discussion going in the comment section. Give logically justified reasons for why you pick a certain card, or why you disagree with this, or why you disagree with a certain point that I made. Don't just kind of make a blanket statement, because I'm not going to respond to the comment, because how can I when there's no actual argument being made? But anyway guys, that's just a little thing. Overall, the support I've gotten for my channel recently has been great, and I want to thank you guys for that. I've got plenty more videos coming up soon. I've also got this kind of weird tag thing where somebody tagged me and told me to answer these 7 questions about like why I got into Yu-Gi-Oh! And so on. So I'll be putting that up soon, so you should keep an eye out for that. And I'm also going to tag 2 more people, Yu-Gi tubers, who will have to do the same thing, and so on. It's just a way to get a kind of a community going between the Yu-Gi tubers, which I think is a really good idea. So anyway guys, thanks for watching as always. I will catch you guys later. Peace.